This is a continuation of the video we made about a week ago called 5 Mistakes Tractor Owners Make. This is going to be 5 more mistakes. I hope you stick around to the very, very end, because the last one, especially if you're a new tractor owner, you're going to want to watch. One of the first things that we're going to look at today is the attaching a PTO shaft. A lot of people have a really, really hard time getting their PTO shaft on. Now, one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to raise this cover. A lot of folks don't realize, but on most modern tractors, these covers do hinge up. The cover is there to protect you from getting your hands or clothing or anything like that in it, and simply due to the fact that it doesn't lock down, this is not a safety shield in the event that the PTO shaft would come off. And that's why what we're getting ready to look at is very, very important, that the drive shaft indent balls are locked in solid, and that drive shaft can't come off. Now, one of the first things that I like to do is I go in there, if this is dry, I don't like putting grease on this, because what grease does is it just seems to attract dirt and stuff. I'll go in there and give it a little WD spray. We'll go in there and we'll put a little bit on there, get that nice and coated. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to coat the inside where our indent balls are on this cordon joint. Little bit of WD, a little bit of lubrication in the back right there. Now, if you look at the end of this right here, this has a spring-loaded collar on it, and your little balls that go into the indent right here, indentation, those are right there. So what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn your output shaft wherever it has to be to get it lined up. We're going to stick the end of our PTO shaft on here. We're going to pull this collar back. We're going to slide it on. And you heard a click right there. You want to make sure that those indentation balls, those indent balls, or detent balls as they're called, lock into place, and that this collar slides forward and locks into place. If it doesn't, this shaft can come off, and it can cause a lot of damage to your implement or even to the back of this tractor. Tip number 2, this right here is a fuel bowl, and what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at it to see it's got a red ring right here, and if this ring rises up and is floating inside this fuel bowl, you know you have water in here. If the red ring is sitting on the bottom, you don't have to worry about draining this. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to get a container, set it up underneath here, crack this valve open a little bit, let the water drain out of it. Let the water keep draining until this ring right here that's floating comes all the way back down and sits on the bottom. That'll let you know that you don't have any water in your system anymore. One way to prevent this from filling up with water is to keep your fuel tank topped off at all times. That way the condensate is kept low in it, and you're not going to have to worry about water, of course. Okay, tip number 4 is our air cleaner. This is one of the most neglected, I think, on any piece of machinery. People usually don't even think of cleaning these air cleaners. You want to, if you're working especially in dusty conditions, you're going to want to take this off, blow out the air cleaner itself. So let's just get this out of here, and all we do is we pull back. These are sometimes a little hard, and you might have to rotate it to get the cap off. And one of the things, you're going to want to clean the inside of this. You can see this is extremely dirty. And we're going to pull out, this is a paper element. Most pieces of machinery have dual elements. This one right here is a fine element. And you notice there's just a little bit of dust and dirt on that. We'll end up taking our rag and we'll wipe that end off right there. We'll also wipe off this end. And this is not too bad. I'm not going to blow into this. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm going to reach up in there. There's a lot of dirt up on the inside of this, and all we're going to do is take our clean rag and wipe that dirt out, all that dust. We sure don't want that going and being ingested into the engine. There we go. And we're just going to slide this inner filter back in. Make sure that it seats. Now, You don't ever want to take a filter like this and blow the dust from the outside back in to clean it off. What that does is it lets that fine dust go through this paper element and it ends up getting ingested into your engine. Always try to blow out from the center right here, and we're going to blow that out real quick and we'll get that changed out. Don't ever tap this either. All you're doing, if you tap it on something to try to shake the dust off, all you're doing is dislodging dirt that could possibly come off and be ingested by the engine. So you don't want to do that. And we're just going to get this back in here. We're going to push it in and seat it. There we go. You're going to want to take the cap and we're going to wipe the inside of this cap off. It's pretty dirty. So we're going to clean the inside out real good, and we might go take some compressed air and blow that out. You might have to rotate this around a little bit to figure back out where it was, take a picture of it to see. Just make sure that this cap fits back on here. And here we are, tip number 4. Tip number 4 would be the front axle lube and checking it. There is a dipstick on the front axle here, and all we do is first you're going to want to wipe it off, get all the dust and everything from around it. And a lot of people never ever check this, and it can be detrimental to your front axle if you run out of lubrication. You'll see it here. It has a thatched lines on it to show to make sure you want to be up at the top of that thatched line. I wouldn't go above that. You'll end up blowing out your seals. They also do make vented dipsticks for the front end. A lot of people, if you use your tractor a lot in four-wheel drive and you're moving around quite a bit with it, that can build up pretty good heat inside of the axle itself. And what it ends up doing is it ends up pushing out those axle seals. Okay, tip number 5 is regen. That generally happens it happens more often if you're running around with your tractor in low RPM. It builds up a lot of soot on the exhaust filter, and when it does that, it automatically kicks into a regen. Now, if you're using your tractor, you can keep on using it. There are different things that you can see up on your dash. If you get a stop sign, anything like that, that means generally that you're going to have to take the tractor in and have the dealer reset it, because what that usually happens is that you parked it several times during a regen and you didn't let it complete the regen process. There's too much soot now on that filter, and the tractor can't burn that off by itself. So that's one of the things you want to look at. The other thing is a parked regen, and that's where you totally put the tractor in park, put it in neutral, rev up get the RPMs up on it, and let it burn that soot off. And depending on how much you just drive around in idle, the tractor, that's gonna dictate the length of time that it takes for that regen to take place. It can be anywhere from maybe 15 minutes up to even 35, 40 minutes, just depending on how much you did. So try not to just idle around. I know a lot of people just don't want that engine, they can't stand the engine RPMs being up high. The tractors are made for the RPMs to run higher. So be sure you take if it goes into regen, go ahead and let it happen. Most of the time when it happens with me is when I'm getting ready to park it. And that's the most aggravating thing on earth, is when I'm through for the day and the tractor goes into regen and I've got to let the tractor just run and either come back or I've got to sit with it. But I go ahead and do it, even though I hate it, I go ahead and let it happen and get the regen done. So don't panic when you see the little white lights, a little blow, looks like something blowing up there. You can see in the video I've got right here, you can see the little icon that's there. That is a regen, and it's nothing to be afraid of. It's not going to hurt or kill anything. If you don't have time to do it right then, there is a button that you can push on almost every one of these tractors that can stop the regen process. And what will happen is the next time you start the tractor up, the regen will take place. So if you absolutely have to shut it down, go ahead and hit. And I think what it is, it looks like the little icon that that is up on the dash right now, and it's got a line through it. And if you punch that, and it'll allow you to go ahead and park the tractor safely, and then the next time that you get on the tractor, it's going to go into regen mode. But you have to let it regen, or that particulate filter will build up, all that soot will build up on there. And if you do it too many times, cut it off, you're going to end up having to go to the dealership and have it reset. That's not cheap. So anyway, don't panic in a regen. It's normal for the tractor to do it, and it's just part of the tractor. So these videos, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're going to have a whole lot more information. If you like videos like that, let me know in the comment, and we'll keep producing tips, probably about 5 tips every time we do one of the videos. And hopefully you can learn a little something like this if you're a new tractor owner. And I appreciate you being here. Remember, buckle up, ROPS up. The life you save may be yours. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.